Do you feel people take advantage of your generosity? Do you give endlessly, only to be ignored, disrespected, or forgotten? This is the problem Machiavelli helps us solve. When kindness makes you powerless, you must choose power over approval. Today, you will learn how to stop being overly kind and start commanding respect. Kindness, what a beautiful word. It makes you appear noble, gentle, even divine. But under the surface of society's praises, there lies a truth that few dare to accept. Excessive kindness does not make you powerful, it makes you weak. And weakness, in the world of power, is the beginning of your destruction. Machiavelli understood the true nature of men. He tells us plainly people are ungrateful, fickle, liars, and greedy for gain. When you show them kindness, they will accept it with smiles, but in their hearts, they will begin to see you not as a leader, not as a figure of strength, but as a resource, something to be drained, used, and cast aside. The very act you believe makes you admired is the very act that makes you disposable. Think of this: a man who gives generously, who forgives endlessly, who softens every punishment. What becomes of him? Do people love him more for it? Perhaps for a short while. They will praise his virtue with their lips, but soon they will discover that his boundaries can be crossed without fear, that his mercy is guaranteed, that his strength is hollow. And when men see that your strength is hollow, they will test you. They will take and take and take again, until there is nothing left of you but exhaustion and resentment. In truth, kindness is never remembered as deeply as severity. When a leader punishes, people remember the fear and adjust their actions. But when a leader forgives, people forget the mercy and repeat the offense. Mercy without consequence is not respected. It is mocked. Do you not see this in your own life? How many times have you forgiven someone who wronged you, only for them to wrong you again? How many times has your generosity been taken for granted, leaving you with less, while they walk away with more? Machiavelli would tell you kindness, when it becomes a habit, enslaves you. It turns you into a servant of others' desires. You imagine you are building loyalty, but you are only feeding ingratitude. A prince, or any man seeking power, must understand that every gift weakens authority if it is not tied to necessity. The people do not remember the many favors you grant, they remember only the one favor you refuse. And when that moment comes, their gratitude vanishes, replaced by bitterness. This is why Machiavelli insists that to rely on kindness is to build on sand. It cannot hold weight. It cannot withstand storms, because the nature of man is not to honor the giver, but to envy him. They will envy your position, your influence, even your ability to give. They will whisper that you should have given more, that you should have forgiven further, that your kindness was not enough. Do you see the trap? The more you give, the more they expect, and the more they expect, the more you are chained to their demands. Imagine a ruler who pardons every crime in his city, believing that mercy will win the hearts of his people. What happens? Criminals become bold, citizens become restless, order collapses. His kindness breeds chaos. Soon, he will be hated not for his cruelty, but for his weakness. He will be despised not because he punished too much, but because he punished too little. And in the end, he will lose everything, not despite his kindness, but because of it. The same law applies in personal life. A man who is always available, always agreeable, always bending to the will of others will never command respect. He may be liked, yes, but it is a shallow liking, the kind that disappears the moment he says no. Deep inside, those around him will know this man is harmless, this man is soft, this man is safe to use. And no one follows the harmless. No one bows to the soft. No one obeys the servant who calls himself a master. Therefore, kindness without limits is nothing but an invitation to betrayal. It signals to others that you lack the courage to enforce discipline, that you lack the will to impose consequence, that you would rather be loved for your generosity than feared for your strength. And yet love fades. Gratitude dies, but fear fear endures. This is the dangerous illusion of kindness. It makes you believe you are winning hearts when in truth, you are losing respect. It convinces you that people are loyal to you when in truth, they are loyal only to the benefits you provide. And the day you stop giving, their loyalty will vanish like smoke in the wind. Every man desires to be loved. It is the sweetest illusion offered to rulers and to common men alike. That if people love you, they will follow you, they will respect you, they will remain loyal. But Machiavelli tears this illusion apart with cold precision. He tells us love is fragile, fleeting, and conditional. It lasts only as long as it serves the interests of those who give it. Fear, on the other hand, binds deeper. Fear endures because self-preservation is stronger than affection. And where love fails, fear secures obedience. Consider the nature of love. Love is a choice. It can be withdrawn in an instant. It depends on feelings, and feelings shift like the winds. A people may love their leader one day, praising his kindness, and the next day they may curse his name, demanding his downfall, simply because he did not grant their wishes. Love is built on expectation, and expectation is endless. It can never be satisfied. No matter how much you give, no matter how much you bend, there will always be a demand for more. But fear is different. Fear is not a choice. Fear does not depend on affection or gratitude. It is tied to survival, and survival is the most powerful instinct of all. A man may stop loving you if he finds another who flatters him more, but he will not stop fearing you if he knows that defiance leads to punishment. The foundation of fear is consequence, and consequence is harder to erase than love. Think of a ruler who wishes to be loved by his people above all else. He pardons those who plot against him. He reduces taxes until his treasury bleeds. He listens to every complaint and bends to every demand. For a time, the people praise him. They call him generous, merciful, noble. But what happens when the treasury runs dry? What happens when lawbreakers grow bold, knowing that punishment will never come? The same people who loved him will now despise him. They will see him as weak, as incapable of command, as unfit to rule. And their love will turn to hatred, sharper than any blade. Now imagine another ruler, one who seeks not to be loved but to be feared. He pardons when it serves his interest, but he punishes swiftly when his authority is challenged. He keeps strict discipline, ensures order, and lets all men know that betrayal will not go unanswered. Do they love him? Perhaps not. But do they obey him? Yes, and obedience, not love, is the true currency of power, because obedience ensures stability, while love ensures nothing but empty promises. You see this even in ordinary life. The man who tries to be loved by everyone soon finds himself enslaved by the endless demands of others. He becomes the people pleaser, the one who can never say no, the one who sacrifices his own strength for approval. And what do people think of him? Do they truly admire him? No. They exploit him, they laugh at him, they discard him. His love gains him no respect. But the man who commands fear, who enforces boundaries, who shows that he cannot be crossed without consequence, this man is respected even if he is not loved. People tread carefully around him. They measure their words, they hesitate before testing him. And that hesitation, that carefulness, is power. Machiavelli did not deny the usefulness of love entirely. He knew that love could be a weapon, a mask, an appearance. A wise ruler should appear kind, merciful, and humane to win trust. But he must never rely on love alone. Because the moment love is tested against fear, love breaks and fear endures. The wise ruler uses love as an ornament but relies on fear as his fortress. And here lies the brutal truth. Men will betray those they love if it serves their interest. They will betray a kind leader if another offers them greater rewards. But they will hesitate. They will tremble. They will stop their hand when faced with one they fear. Love invites betrayal, but fear prevents it. Love is fragile, but fear is iron. Love fades, but fear remains. Machiavelli teaches us that power is not maintained by truth alone, but by the image of truth. It is not necessary to be good, he says, but it is always necessary to appear good. This is the delicate balance that separates the strong from the naive, the ability to wear the mask of kindness while wielding the hand of ruthlessness. Why does this balance matter? Because men judge more by what they see than by what they feel. They cannot see into your heart, but they can see your actions, your words, your posture. And appearances, once formed, are stronger than reality. If you look merciful, if you speak of compassion, if you show restraint when eyes are upon you, people will believe you to be kind, noble, trustworthy. They will open their hearts to you. They will lower their guard. But beneath that mask, your true weapon is hidden. You do not act out of softness, you act out of calculation. When kindness secures your image, you wear it. When ruthlessness protects your power, you strike without hesitation. Think of the ruler who always reveals his true self, who says, "I will never deceive. I will never pretend. I will only show what I am." He may believe he is virtuous, but he is also foolish, because men are not virtuous themselves. They will exploit his honesty, they will read his openness as weakness, and they will outmaneuver him. The ruler who refuses to wear the mask will soon be undone by those who wear it better. Now imagine a different leader, one who cultivates the appearance of mercy. He speaks of justice, he shows restraint in public, he rewards loyalty. His people believe him to be a man of kindness. But when rebellion stirs, when treachery grows, when enemies threaten his throne, he does not hesitate to act with brutality. He cuts off the disease before it spreads. He makes an example of those who would test him. And when the dust settles, he resumes his mask. The people, still blind to the ruthlessness beneath, continue to praise his virtue. They admire his fairness, even as they fear the consequences of crossing him. This is the art of power, to look like the lamb while holding the teeth of the wolf. Because most men are satisfied with appearances. They rarely seek the truth. They are content to see the facade, so long as it comforts them. But the wise ruler, the wise man of power, knows that truth is not comfort. Truth is survival. He will play the role that keeps others docile while reserving his true nature for moments when it is most needed. You may ask, is this not deception? Yes, it is. But Machiavelli would remind you that all men deceive. The difference is that the weak deceive for scraps, while the powerful deceive to rule. When you appear kind, people give you their trust. When you appear merciful, they give you their loyalty. But if you are truly kind, truly merciful, without the ability to be ruthless, you hand them the knife that will one day be used against you. It is only the mask that saves you, and only the ruthlessness that keeps your mask from being torn away. Consider how this works in your own life. If you show others nothing but hardness, they will resist you. They will fear you openly and seek ways to escape or destroy you. But if you show them a surface of gentleness, they will draw near. They will speak freely. They will give you openings. And when the time comes that you must enforce your will, you will strike with precision, and they will be shocked because they never saw it coming. Your mask of kindness disarms them, and your ruthlessness secures your position. The world is filled with those who play one side only. Some are too cruel, and they are hated. Their downfall is certain. Others are too kind, and they are abused. Their ruin is inevitable. But the rare few who learn to walk the line, to display kindness when it suits them and to abandon it when survival demands it, these are the ones who endure. These are the ones who command both loyalty and fear, both admiration and obedience. This balance is not simple, for it requires discipline. It is easy to fall into softness and give kindness without limit. It is easy, too, to become drunk on cruelty and lose the favor of the people. The art lies in knowing when to smile and when to strike, when to forgive and when to punish, when to extend your hand and when to draw your blade. Only those who master this dance hold true power, because they understand that appearances tame men, but ruthlessness rules them. Machiavelli warns us that kindness, when it is not anchored in authority, does not elevate you, it enslaves you. The man who bends endlessly to the needs of others is not a leader. He is a servant dressed in the clothes of generosity. And though he may believe that his kindness wins loyalty, what it truly wins is dependence, exploitation, and quiet contempt. Think carefully about what it means to be kind without power. It means giving without limit, forgiving without standard, and serving without condition. At first, people may praise you. They may call you good, virtuous, noble. But soon, their praise turns into expectation, and expectation turns into demand. They begin to treat your generosity not as a gift, but as an obligation. Your kindness, once seen as admirable, becomes invisible, a background they no longer notice. And the moment you fail to provide it, you are no longer celebrated. You are condemned. This is the trap of the kind man who has no authority. He is caught in a cycle where he must continue giving more just to maintain the approval he once gained. But approval is not respect. Approval is shallow, and it vanishes the moment you stop feeding it. Respect, however, comes only from authority, and authority is built on boundaries, consequences, and control. Without these, kindness is powerless, and powerless kindness is slavery. Consider the ruler who gives endlessly to his people, reducing his wealth to enrich them, forgiving crimes to appear merciful, bowing to their wishes in the hope of securing their love. He is not their master, though he holds the throne. He is their servant, though he wears the crown. The people sense this. They see that he fears losing their approval, and so they press further, asking more, taking more, demanding more. His throne becomes fragile because his rule is no longer his own. It is theirs. He has exchanged authority for affection, but affection has no weight. When hardship comes, when his resources are gone, when his mercy no longer satisfies, the same people who praised him will turn on him. They will accuse him of failing them, though he gave them everything. His kindness will be his undoing, because it was not supported by the iron of authority. The same truth applies in the life of any man. If you are always available to others, if you never say no, if you carry their burdens without demanding respect in return, you may believe you are building loyalty, but you are not. You are building dependency. You are teaching others that you exist to serve them. They will come to expect your time, your resources, your energy, as though it belongs to them. And when you dare to set a boundary, when you dare to keep something for yourself, they will see it not as your right, but as betrayal. In their eyes, you are no longer kind, you are selfish. This is how the servant is created, not through chains, but through generosity without authority. Machiavelli makes it clear that true generosity, true mercy, must always serve the higher purpose of maintaining control. A prince may give gifts, but only when those gifts strengthen his power. He may forgive, but only when forgiveness keeps the peace of his state. Anything else is weakness, and weakness, in the eyes of others, is an open invitation to abuse. For men do not honor those who bend too easily. They honor those who make them bend. What you must understand is that people do not admire kindness in itself. They admire kindness when it comes from strength. They admire the leader who has the power to punish, yet chooses to forgive. They admire the man who has the strength to walk away, yet decides to stay. In both cases, the act of kindness is meaningful only because it is paired with authority. Without authority, it is not kindness. It is submission. It is not generosity. It is surrender. This is the danger of confusing kindness with power. They are not the same. One without the other creates imbalance. Power without kindness breeds hatred, but kindness without power breeds slavery. The wise man, the Machiavellian man, learns that his kindness must always be a choice, never a duty. It must flow from his position of strength, never from his fear of rejection. Because the moment kindness becomes your only weapon, it ceases to be kindness at all. It becomes a chain that binds you, a leash that others hold, dragging you wherever they please. Machiavelli reveals a truth that most men refuse to accept. Order is not born out of kindness, it is born out of strength. And strength, at times, demands ruthlessness. Mercy, when used without restraint, breeds disorder. But cruelty, when applied with precision, can create stability that endures. This is why a ruler, or any man seeking control, must never fear the reputation of being harsh, if harshness preserves his power. Think of a state where law is never enforced, where punishments are endlessly delayed, where every transgression is forgiven. At first, the people rejoice. They call it an age of freedom, of compassion, of fairness. But beneath that illusion, chaos begins to grow. Criminals grow bold, knowing there is no real cost to their actions. The dishonest exploit the honest. The disobedient weaken the obedient. Soon, society begins to unravel, not because cruelty is present, but because cruelty is absent. A leader who refuses to punish has not created peace, he has created lawlessness. His kindness has betrayed him, and with it, betrayed his people. Now imagine a different ruler, one who strikes swiftly at disorder. The man who steals is punished without delay. The traitor is executed publicly, a warning to all who would betray again. The conspirator is removed before his plans take root. At first, the people may whisper of his cruelty, they may complain of his severity, but as time passes, they see something greater: stability. Commerce thrives because theft is rare. Families walk safely because criminals fear consequence. The order they enjoy is not born from his kindness. It is born from his ruthlessness. And though they may not love him, they will depend on him. For deep inside, people desire safety more than they desire freedom, and they will accept cruelty if it ensures their survival. Machiavelli calls this the well-used cruelty. A cruelty that is sharp, decisive, and limited, aimed not at endless torment, but at establishing fear strong enough to secure obedience. Better one swift act of ruthlessness than 1,000 acts of mercy that invite rebellion. Because rebellion, when it grows unchecked, will eventually require far more blood to suppress. The ruler who hesitates to be cruel in the beginning will be forced into greater cruelty later, when the disease has spread too far. This law applies not only to kingdoms but to the smallest of personal realms. In your own life, if you refuse to set firm boundaries, if you forgive every disrespect, if you allow others to cross you without consequence, you are not merciful. You are laying the foundation for chaos. Friends will take advantage, enemies will grow bold, and your silence will embolden them further. But if you are ruthless when necessary, cutting ties with those who drain you, standing firm against insult, imposing consequences without apology, you establish order around you. People may call you harsh, but they will also think twice before daring to test you again. What makes ruthlessness so effective is not its cruelty, but its clarity. It sends a message that cannot be ignored. This line cannot be crossed. It teaches men that your mercy is not endless, that your patience is not weakness, that your strength is not a mask. And once they learn this, they begin to regulate themselves. They obey not because they love you, but because they fear the cost of disobedience. That fear is what preserves order when love has faded. The mistake of weak rulers, weak men, is believing that mercy alone will inspire loyalty. But mercy without ruthlessness invites betrayal. People respect what they fear far more than what they love, because fear has teeth and love does not. To rule effectively, you must be willing to wield cruelty as a tool. Rarely, decisively, and without hesitation. For it is not endless acts of kindness that hold a kingdom together, but the knowledge that defiance will be met with punishment. And in that knowledge, chaos dissolves and order begins. Every man faces the same choice, though most never realize it until it is too late. Will you live to be approved, or will you live to be powerful? Machiavelli reminds us that the pursuit of approval is a fool's game, for it depends not on your strength, but on the fickle hearts of others. Approval is unstable, fragile, vanishing the moment you cease to serve another's interest. Power, however, rests on something more solid. Power is not begged for, it is not gifted, it is taken. And once it is established, it does not bend with the moods of men. Approval feels sweet. It feeds the ego. When people clap for you, praise you, call you kind, call you generous, it feels like security. But it is not security, it is bait. For those same voices will shift in an instant the moment you refuse them something they want. Approval is transactional. It is shallow, conditional, always in danger of being withdrawn. The one who builds his life on approval is like a man building on shifting sand. Every step feels unstable, every wind threatens collapse. Power, by contrast, does not beg for applause. Power demands respect. Power does not rely on the affection of others, but on the recognition that you hold the ability to enforce your will. Men may not love the powerful, but they obey them. They may complain, they may whisper, they may secretly envy, but they do not cross him, because the cost of defiance is too high. And in this fear there lies true loyalty, the kind of loyalty that cannot be shaken by the winds of desire. Think of the leader who spends his life seeking approval. He listens to every voice, bends to every demand, changes his course 100 times just to satisfy the loudest complainers. At first, he is loved, for he seems attentive and generous. But soon he is despised, because he lacks direction, he lacks firmness, he lacks the backbone of authority. No one truly respects the leader who bows to every opinion, because in trying to please all, he pleases none. His legacy is weakness, his memory one of failure. Now picture the leader who seeks not approval but power. He listens, yes, but he is not bound to the desires of the masses. He makes decisions that may be harsh, decisions that may earn him hatred in the moment, but those same decisions create order, prosperity, and stability in the long run. He may not be loved, but he is respected. He may not be praised, but he is remembered, and remembrance, true remembrance, belongs not to those who were liked, but to those who were strong. This same law governs your own life. If you spend your days seeking the approval of friends, of colleagues, of strangers, you will live in chains. Every action will be dictated not by your own vision, but by the fear of rejection. You will sacrifice your own strength for temporary applause. But if you choose power, if you set boundaries, demand respect, enforce consequences, you will lose some approval, but you will gain something far greater influence. People may not always like you, but they will always measure themselves against you. They will think twice before dismissing you. They will treat you not as an option, but as a force. Machiavelli makes the choice clear. Approval is for those who wish to be liked today but forgotten tomorrow. Power is for those who are willing to be feared today and remembered forever. Men admire power even when they resent it, but they exploit kindness even when they praise it. To choose approval is to choose slavery to others' desires. To choose power is to claim sovereignty over your own destiny. You have seen the truth through Machiavelli's eyes. Kindness without strength breeds weakness. Love is fragile while fear endures. Appearances deceive, and only those who master the mask survive. Mercy without authority enslaves you, while ruthlessness, when used with precision, creates order. And in the end, the choice is clear: approval fades, but power remains. The world does not honor the endlessly kind. It does not obey the endlessly merciful. It bows to those who understand the laws of power, who choose strength over softness, who are willing to be feared when being loved is not enough. Remember this: you must not strive to be harmless. You must strive to be powerful, for in power lies survival, respect, and the ability to shape the world according to your will.